Thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce our next speaker, the fantastic and eloquent Teddy O'Brien.
Good morning, faculty and students. I'd like to thank Dr. P and Mr. Parker for helping me throughout the whole writing process. But when evening comes, I return home and go into my library. At the door, I take off my muddy, everyday clothes. I dress myself as though I were about to appear before a royal court as a Florentine envoy. Then, decently attired, I enter the antique courts of the men of great antiquity. They receive me with friendship. From them I derive the nourishment which alone is mine and for which I was born. Without false shame, I talk to them and ask them the causes for their actions. And their humanity is so great that they answer me. For 4 long and happy hours, I lose myself in them. I forget all my troubles. I am not afraid of poverty or death. I transform myself entirely in their likeness. What you all have just heard is by Niccolò Machiavelli, and it is about his passion for reading. After a long day, he returns home to his library. He then dresses up in nice clothes and loses himself in books for 4 long and happy hours. He does that for the sheer pleasure and power of reading. As many of my friends may know, I love to read. As a child, I read because I had nothing better to do. I had no cable TV and no video games till I was 11. I was annoyed by this at the time. All my friends had video games, yet I didn't. I believed it was unfair. But today, I have a completely different view on the topic. A good way to express how I feel about this today is to talk about my Xbox. I received an Xbox for Christmas in 6th grade. I was elated when I received it. I thought I would finally be able to play video games with my friends. And of course, I do, but I don't play nearly as much as I thought I would have. That's the result of my long-term exposure to reading. Nowadays, I feel that reading is more of a privilege and a pleasure than a pain, which is what I felt when I was younger. Video games are a form of entertainment, but it is one that isn't for me. This year, I received 12 books for Christmas. After 1 month, I read them all 4,000 pages. For me, reading is a pleasure and a privilege. It is near impossible to give justice to what books mean to me, but it is possible to describe the joy they give. When I say joy, I mean reading outside on a hammock on a cool summer day with a book in my hand and a glass of lemonade in the other. When I say joy, I mean floating on a raft in the middle of a cool blue lake with a thrilling heart. That's what I mean by joy. Others have found the same thing to be true. To read is to fly. It is to soar to a point of vantage which gives you a view over wider terrains of history, human variety, ideas, shared experiences, and the fruits of many inquiries. A.C. Grayling. Grayling is basically saying that reading is like soaring through the heavens. It is going to a place which gives you a wider view of life. It is a rare pleasure that, unlike gaming consoles, allows you to travel your mind, think more deeply, and reflect on yourself. Here's another well-known quote. I've never known any trouble that an hour's reading can't assuage. That was Arthur Schopenhauer. Basically, he is saying that all your troubles in life can be put to the side after an hour's reading of a great book. The amount of pleasure you get from just an hour of reading distracts you from life's hardships. You may not be convinced by what I've said, but pleasure is not the only perk of reading. Its power is equally incredible. You may think by this point I'm just repeating the old cliches about reading, but no, I'm making a point that's not only what I believe, but it's the truth. Books can teach you lessons that you may already know, but help you see them in a different way than you may expect. For instance, let me talk about Harry Potter. How about what Neville taught me? He taught me to never judge a book by its cover. Ron, he showed me that the ones who you may never expect to may be the ones to make the biggest impact on your life. Voldemort, evil ones will never prevail, no matter how wise they may be. As Henry David Thoreau once stated, a truly good book teaches me better than to just read it. I must soon lay it down and commence living on its hint. What I begin by reading, I must finish by acting. The purpose of my reflection has not been to shame you to read more often. All I want for you to take from this is that books can give you a pleasure and a release in power that is far greater than any video game can. As Christopher Morley once said, when you sell a man a book, You don't just sell them 12 ounces of paper and ink and glue. You sell them a whole new life.